Okay, guys, welcome to lesson number 6 of chapter 1. And in this lesson, we're going to look at, well, it says here Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson. We'll look at Lyndon Johnson maybe towards the end, but definitely in lesson 7, we'll have a deeper dive into Lyndon B. Johnson and then beyond. But I want to just really focus on JFK today, okay? John F. Kennedy, this guy here, okay? And really his, although very brief time as president, some of his foreign and domestic contributions. So, he is often known as JFK. He's the 35th president of the US. Okay, he takes over from Dwight Eisenhower. And he served from 1961 until his assassination in November 1963. His presidency is remembered obviously mainly for his assassination, I think, but often for his inspirational vision and a number of key significant events that he was involved in during his time as US president as well. Okay, it should be noted that Kennedy came into office at a time of great difficulty. Okay, he was immediately met with issues and by the USSR, particularly in relation to space and of course the kind of spreading of communism. But he was elected on the basis that he was showing a very strong stance against the Soviets in his election campaigns. Okay, his first standoff as leader was really what to do with the flood of immigrants arriving from East to West Berlin, one that was solved by the building of the Berlin Wall, a monument that symbolized tensions between the US and the USSR for nearly 3 decades. The Berlin Wall, in essence, is this massive symbol of the Cold War and the kind of East versus West. In any case, below is a brief snapshot of some of his most telling foreign and domestic achievements. So, foreign contributions. 1962, Kennedy faces a massive confrontation with the Soviet Union when it was discovered that Soviet missiles were being installed in Cuba, of all places, just 100 miles off the coast of Florida. Kennedy's firm stance and negotiations on this ultimately led to the removal of the missiles during this time, avoiding a potential nuclear war. And we do have an entire lesson on the Cuban Missile Crisis in one of the other chapters, so go and check that out if you'd like more details. Secondly, he inspired the nation with his goal to land an American on the moon by the end of the 1960s. His commitment to space exploration led to increased funding for NASA and the eventual moon landing in 1969. He also established the Peace Corps in 1961, and their goal was to essentially be volunteers to help with development projects in poorer countries. This program aimed to promote peace and friendship worldwide. Some of his domestic contributions: he was a keen supporter of civil rights for African Americans. Of course, as a Democratic president, he would most certainly be. He proposed the Civil Rights Act to end segregation and discrimination, though it was passed after his death under Lyndon B. Johnson's tutelage. His New Frontier programs also aimed to improve the economy. So New Frontier programs, he looked to improve the economy, education, healthcare, and civil rights. He pushed for advances in social welfare too, and in the public services. He introduced many tax cuts to help stimulate economic growth, and he worked to reduce unemployment, boosting the economy during his presidency too. So, a couple of key questions to finish off this lesson. So, name one key foreign event that Kennedy was involved with and state if he was successful in dealing with it. So he was involved in the Bay of Pigs, which of course there is notes on the Bay of Pigs in Booklet A, Booklet B, and in a separate video as well. This was wholly unsuccessful. This is before the Cuban Missile Crisis, but of course the Cuban Missile Crisis was a massive success. What did Kennedy establish in 1961? Well, he established the Peace Corps, which sent American volunteers to help with development projects in poorer countries. And finally, what did Kennedy's New Frontier program look to achieve? Take a second, pause the video, and see if you can answer this. Well, ultimately, it looked to improve the economy, improve education, healthcare, and civil rights for all Americans, really cementing his legacy as a very strong democratic president. That's all for this lesson. We'll see you in lesson 7 on Lyndon B. Johnson.
If you like this video, you'll love our notes. You can get some for free in the link in the description of this video.